And I tell you what, if we do not provide an opportunity for them to have education, have some institutions, then there are some other institutions that are being built, namely prisons, and that's where they will go if they don't have the proper kind of training and the kind of skills for them to be able to make a positive contribution to our country and our nation. And well, every time they build another jail cell, that means less classroom space for one of our people. Now, the American Baptist College, in addition to its traditional training in higher education, we have several programs. One is the Godfathers program. Now, the Godfathers program is housed there at American Baptist College, the national headquarters. And it is designed to help reach out and save these young boys starting from between ages 9 and 14. And the whole idea is to get them involved on a weekly basis with older black men so that they will begin to have respect for themselves and respect for others. Because if they don't respect themselves, they're not going to respect their teachers, they're not going to respect their parents, they're not going to respect law enforcement or people in their communities. And when the kind of thing happens to Rosa Parks in Detroit, Michigan, it lets us know that all of our grandmothers are in danger, and they're not safe in the streets. And when our grandmothers are not safe in the street because of our grandsons, then we are in trouble. And so therefore we say the Godfathers program is important. We're now in 7 states. Our latest one started actually, most recent one rather, in Gary, Indiana. I was there this past weekend meeting with some of those people. And we say the church has to be responsible. That you cannot simply allow the school system to carry the burden alone. Now, there are some things the school system can do to change. And one of the things that they have to have in the school systems here in Nashville, like other communities, they've got to have some nonviolent training because our teachers and our administrators are not skillful in doing nonviolent training. I can appreciate conflict resolution, but we must go beyond that. Simply stopping the fight or helping people, you know, to separate themselves. We've got to create community, and that's what Martin Luther King did. And that's why we had the kind of change we did. You see, after Reverend Thomas sort of bring some of the business people, you know, in check, then we found a covenant, a new relationship. You know, because as long as you haven't solved the problem unless you have a new relationship, a new working relationship, and that's the thing about nonviolence. So we're working in the schools and helping to walk the halls, some of our students, and teaching our students so that wherever they go, they'll take the same skills. And Reverend Norman Robinson has been working with that program.
Very good. Reverend Thomas, you know, I think Jefferson Street Missionary Baptist Church has sort of served as the one of the headquarters for the new emphasis on moratorium on violence that was initiated by the Interdenominational Ministerial Fellowship here in Nashville. And I think they've had several meetings at your church dealing with this. Why don't you, over the last 3 minutes that we have, the two of you, give us sort of an assessment in terms of where we are in terms of stopping the violence in this moratorium on violence?
Well, first, the headquarters is there because the IMF meets at Jefferson Street. Dr. Forrest Harris is the president of the IMF, and that's where we meet. But we've been very successful. Some says that the moratorium seems foolish, but the time we asked for the moratorium, there were 1 killing, 4 killings on the 1st of February, and after that, none. And then in March, you had some. Somehow or another, someone must have the guts enough to say, stop. And I think our president, Dr. Forrest Harris, was courageous, and I think the community heard. And people all over Nashville are trying to work with us. We've had youth conferences, and people calling the church now are trying to be a part of this nonviolent movement. it has been a blessing for the community. At least it made us conscious of, our young people and the killing on the street.
Very good. Dr. Lafayette, we've got about a minute and a half before we come to an end for the show today. And this will give you and Reverend Thomas perhaps an opportunity to make a final comment, about 15 or 20 seconds of a final comment about some of the things that we've already talked about, or perhaps some new statements that you'd like to make.
Our greatest challenge today for our church and our community, no matter whether it's in the political, economic, or religious sphere, is that we must begin to confront in a direct way the causes of violence in our community. And our churches, under the leadership of our ministers, is taking this challenge on. And it's very important that we realize that the only way we're going to solve this problem is that we have got to get these same young people churched. It's either the church house or the jailhouse.
Reverend Thomas, a final comment.
I come back to the American Baptists. The American Baptists have been able to teach us honest theology, how to deal honestly in this world. And if we're going to deal with the nonviolence or the problems, whatever problem we might have, we must deal with them and be honest.
Very good.
And that's American Baptist way.
Very good. Let me thank the two of you, Dr. Lafayette and Reverend Thomas, for coming by and giving us that excellent information about American Baptist College today. And I'm sure that there are enough churches and other elements within the community to give you the kind of financial support that you need in order to make sure that the doors of American Baptist College will remain open. And let me thank the two of you for coming by and giving us that information. And let me encourage you to tune in again next week for another informative edition of Comments. Thank you and good morning.
Thank you.
And so we'll be back.